What's up, everybody? Jump in here. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back on some Mass Effect, and I'm going to be showing you some Cerberus Adept. If you want the build, check the description. It will be there. But I wanted to talk about something today that I feel really passionate about, which is GameStop. I hate GameStop. And I've actually brought this up before in other commentaries. In my live stream, I talked about this just a little bit once. But I never really go into detail because there's so much to talk about why GameStop is a terrible company and why really you should not shop there. Now, first thing I want to say is that I'm not against the idea of used games. But when you're talking about GameStop, I am totally against their idea of used games. Because you got to realize, a lot of the things that were going on, how publishers, because publishers do want this. They want to push DRM. They want gaming to go digital because that will guarantee them their profits. Used games, it does hurt them, that's for sure. But one thing you guys have to realize is that GameStop is literally ass raping the publishers because of their used games. Now, you got to realize GameStop is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Fortune 500. It is worldwide. They make tons of money, okay? Now, the first thing is that they pay only minimum wage. They are really bad to their employees. They don't pay them well. It's really hard to even get a pay raise that is decent. If you're non-management, then you're screwed. Things like that. Like, you as an employee, like the way that corporation looks at you is that, oh, you're a gamer, you like to play games, but you don't work at GameStop to play games. But they just kind of view you as that. You're a gamer. I don't give a fuck about the employee. Let's not pay him shit. Let's pay him minimum wage, not give him a pay increase ever. And force the employees to do messed up things like badger customers. I mean, that's one of the worst things about GameStop. You go in there, like when I used to shop at GameStop, because I don't shop there anymore. I just got fed up with it. So you go up in there, and you walk in the door knowing that you want to buy this brand new game. You're not there to browse. You're not there to consider. You are certain that that is what you want. You want this brand new game. So you walk in there. You don't even have to look. You just go to the front desk and you say, hey, listen, I want this new game. And they're like, all right. Now, the first thing they do is this. They say, do you want to buy it used to save $5? $5? Fuck that. I don't want to save $5. I don't really care. $5, yes, the economy sucks. But someone else would have played that game and would have opened it and could have messed it up potentially. No, I don't want a used game. I want a brand new game. Especially when you're literally only offering $5 off. Like, that is just not worth it to me. That's the first thing. Then they're like, do you have an Edge card? Do you want an Edge card? Do you want Game Informer? Do you want the book? Do you want to pre-order anything else? Do you want the DLC? I mean, they just badger you to try to almost force you to get something else. I mean, obviously the employees, you might hate them, but they are told by the company to do that. Like, they're taught that they have to, otherwise they can get in trouble if they're not offering you pre-orders or offering you the Edge card if you're buying something used. That's the thing. If you're buying anything ever used, they will always talk about the Edge card. Do you have an Edge card? Do you want an Edge card? Do you want an Edge card? Well, you'll save 10% off the used product that you're buying right now if you buy this Edge card for $15. And the Edge card is just bullshit because you have to get a subscription to Game Informer and the Edge card. So it's $15. It's like a bundle, but you can't just get the Edge card. And what's bullshit is that if you already have Game Informer subscription, like, you can argue with them. Because I had that happen to me once, where they're trying to sell me the Edge card, and this is when I was like 16 or 17, so I was like, alright, sure, yeah, let me get this Edge card. And they're like, well, it's a bundle with Game Informer. I'm like, well, I already got Game Informer. I got a subscription already. I'm paying for it. They're like, well, you have to, it's like, what are you talking about? Can't you just sell me the damn Edge card for less money? It's almost like the Xbox One where it's like, can't I just buy the Xbox One without the Kinect maybe? Like, you should make that an option sell it to me for $400, and then I would definitely be more considering to buy an Xbox One if it's $400 and I don't have to have the Kinect, which I don't want. Same with GameStop, where they're trying to force you to basically get two things so that they can up the price. It's totally nonsense. So, you know, like I said, the employees, they badger you, but I really can't blame them all that much when it's really the corporation that's really telling them that they have to do this. Now, like I was saying before, GameStop, they ass rape publishers because they rip off customers. That's what they do. You will go in there and you can trade in a game, right? They'll give you $5 for that game, okay? $5. And then they're going to flip it and sell it for $25. That's a 400% increase of profit right there. Brand new game, right? You just bought it, you don't like it, you don't want it. You go back and you trade it in, they'll give you, let's say, $25 cash or maybe $30 trade-in or something like that. Maybe a little bit more for a popular brand new game, right? Then they're going to flip that and sell it for $55. So, like, they are just making an enormous profit from used games all over the world because they are worldwide. They're everywhere. And I'm not against used games. I like the idea that if you have a disc, like, I am pro disc. I'm not 100% against digital. But my whole philosophy on this is that if they want to go digital, they should give us two options. We should have the option to buy a physical disc and maybe pay a little bit more for it, or we can buy it digitally and save some money. But then we couldn't share it. Obviously, you can't just take your digital copy of the game and give it to your friend or loan it to you know, whoever the hell, or trade it in or sell it on eBay. Things like that. You couldn't do that with a digital copy. So give us both options. Like, that's what I have been kind of saying here for a while. And people always think that they're like, well, Jumpin', if you are against DRM, are you against Steam? Are you against this or that? No, I'm not. But here's what I'm saying. And I'm not against used games, but I'm against GameStop. Because, like I said, they're screwing publishers, and they're taking money out of the industry. Apparently, games nowadays, they cost a ton to make. I mean, a good example of this is Square Enix. They said Tomb Raider was a failure. Now, for them to say that, to me, is almost ridiculous, because this game, to my knowledge, was a success. It sold like 3.3 million copies. $60 a pop, that's like at least $180 million right there. But they were saying something like it would have had to sold 6.6 million or 6.9 million to actually be a success to them. That's ridiculous. So that's absolutely ridiculous if that's how many copies needed to be sold for them to turn a profit. That means that game must have cost so much to make, which is absolutely ridiculous, and that's a bad sign for really the gaming industry. Or the whole industry might, like, explode, like, literally, like, just go down the tubes. And it did that before, if you guys didn't know that. There was a moment where games just cost too much. They weren't making all that much money from them, and the industry suffered, and then they recovered. It was good that they recovered, but that did happen once. So this is something that could happen again. We just don't know. But GameStop would be one of the biggest people that you could blame, because they are everywhere. And they are the ones really doing this to the industry. Companies like GameStop, they are the reason why we have first day DLCs. They are the reason why we have online passes and microtransactions, which most people absolutely hate. This is bullshit. First day DLC, that's ridiculous. Online passes, come on now. Microtransaction, like, how much money do you want? Well, they're trying to recover some money that they're losing to companies like GameStop. That is just making billions of dollars off of their product. So, I mean, that's something you have to look at and realize that this is what's going on. Now, another thing that GameStop does, which is just so ridiculous, they were the ones that really started the whole pre-order your game. Pre-order your game. You gotta pre-order this game. Otherwise, you might not get it. And most of the time, now when you're talking about a game like, let's say, the new Call of Duty, you know, there's always that chance that, yes, it could sell out, you know? You don't know. But I promise you that if you go to a Walmart, there's a good chance they'll still have that game. Best Buy, and if worse comes to worse, you can always buy it off of Amazon or something like that before it even comes out. Like, just shop on Amazon and make sure that you can get that copy before it even ever comes out. If Walmart is sold out, or Best Buy is sold out, you can always just go to another Walmart or another Best Buy and try there. GameStop isn't always your best option for these things. Because then they started this whole, well, you can get a pre-order bonus. The bonuses are so ridiculous when you really think about it. They force developers to take things out of their game. Like straight up like missions or quests or portions of the game that you can only access if you would have pre-ordered it from GameStop. That is absolutely just ridiculous. A good example of this would be Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 pre-order was just stupid. Like, it was the Creature Slaughter Dome, which was an actual mission in that game, or a quest in that game, that you probably would have wanted to play. They took that out of the game so that GameStop could have it as a pre-order bonus. And they do this all the time. This is nothing new. They do it with every game practically. And pre-orders in general, they're just not good, because they can really screw over that particular game. A good example is this. If a publisher is looking at the pre-order list and seeing that this particular game is really not getting pre-ordered, they can kind of already tell it's going to be a flop. A good example of that is when Microsoft looked at their pre-order list and seen that the Xbox One was just failing and the PlayStation 4 was dominating, they changed their policies. So with games, if a game is just not being pre-ordered, the publisher can kind of look at that and say, well, it looks like this game is not going to sell well. So they might rush the title just because why? Why do they even care at that point? Why should they invest any more time and money into this product that's not going to sell? They already know it's not going to sell. It's going to probably flop. So they just rush it out and they let it just collapse. They let it be shit. And that also can happen with really good games. Games that are going to be pre-ordered by millions and millions of people. So like right away, let's say there's 5 million pre-orders to this game. They already are pretty confident this game is going to be a huge success. Why should they invest any more money or time onto it? Why fix every glitch? And a lot of times, you might wonder, you come across a glitch in a game, and you're like, how did they not catch this? How did they not fix this? This is such a common glitch. There's no way a game tester did not figure this out and report it to the developers. Why did they not fix this glitch? Well, a good reason for why they probably didn't fix it was because they rushed the title. They didn't have time to fix that glitch. And this could happen with a really good game that's going to sell a ton, because they're like, well, don't worry about fixing that glitch that could potentially be game breaking. We need to get this title out now because it's already going to sell like crazy. It's going to sell like hotcakes. Screw it. And if it's a game that's not going to sell all that well, they're like, why should we invest money into fixing this? Why should we pay people to do this? Fuck it. Just get it out there. No one's going to buy it anyway. So pre-orders are bad in that sense. And I hate that about GameStop. There's just a lot of things that are just terrible about this company. I mean, they really royally screw the customer. They screw their employees. They screw the industry of gaming, which we love. I mean, going back to the whole thing about used games and how I'm not against used games, but I am against GameStop, and I would hope that a lot of you guys would maybe listen to this and say, hey, let's not shop at GameStop anymore. I mean, because you are just really doing yourself an injustice if you're trading games in or really buying used games at GameStop. It's way better to just sell your games to your friends. If you don't have any friends that play video games, that's fine. You could sell it on eBay. You could sell it on Craigslist. You can buy used games on eBay. You can buy used games on Craigslist. You can buy used games from your friend. And you cut out that corporation in between this process. And that's good because this is the way you can look at it. If I had a game, a brand new game, let's say Black Ops 2, and I didn't want it. Now, I could go to GameStop and get 25 bucks for it, or $30 of trade-in or something like that for it. Or I could put it on eBay. I could put it on Craigslist. I can sell it to you as my friend. And let's say I say, okay, I'm selling this game for 40 bucks. And you're like, okay, that sounds like a good deal. So you buy it for $40. Now, you're going to save $15 on that product. Because if you would have went to GameStop, you would have probably paid $55 for it. So you're saving $15. And I would have only got, let's say, $25. So I'm gaining $15. So I'm making the amount of money that I wanted from this product, and you're paying the amount of money that you want for the product. So it's fair. We both walk away happy. I mean, that's just the thing, guys. GameStop, they really do screw people over. Now, I never worked at GameStop, but I had a friend who was my sister's boyfriend, but I was close, you know, we were friends or whatever, and he worked at GameStop. And he would always tell me how messed up the company was, how he hated it, and he eventually quit anyway because he just couldn't stand it. But I just knew from him, like, a lot of these problems. Plus, if you really want to be entertained, you can look up amazing rants about GameStop just all over YouTube from former employees that worked there for a while. They didn't get paid crap. Really, they talk about a lot of the dirty little secrets because there's way more. There's so much more about GameStop that you should know about from the employees. They can pretty much tell you like what goes on that the customer really might not know about, okay? But anyway, you know, when he worked there, my sister's boyfriend, and I was like 17 or 18 at this time, I remember I wanted to get a job at GameStop. Now, he worked there and he didn't like it, but the one thing about him was he wasn't really that big of a gamer. He played PlayStation 2, and that was about it. And he only played certain titles. Like, he was a very casual gamer. Didn't really know anything about Nintendo. Didn't know anything about PC games. Didn't know anything about Xbox games. He just knew about a couple PlayStation games, and that was it, because those were the games that he played. So if you were to go in there and ask this guy a question about Nintendo or Xbox or PC or whatever, he couldn't tell you. So this is something that really bugs me about GameStop, is the way that they hire people. Like, he only got that job because he was friends with the two managers at this particular GameStop. Now, this right here, what I'm talking about, probably isn't 100% true everywhere. I mean, there's certain GameStops where the employees are good because the people are good. Now, the corporation, yeah, they still suck, but the people who work at those GameStops could be really cool, good gamers that are, you know, they have a lot of knowledge, they can help you out. But in this particular case with him, like I said, he just didn't know what the hell he was talking about most of the time. And I wanted to get a job there. Now, when I was like 17 or 18, I was way more knowledgeable about gaming than I am now. I played Nintendo, I played Xbox, I played a little bit of PlayStation through my friends and through him and other people. I read Game Informer all the time. I read articles about gaming. I mean, that's just something I did all my spare time. Like when I was bored, I would just get a magazine about gaming, or I would read something about gaming. And I knew everything. I knew what games were good and what games were not good. I knew when games were coming out for all the consoles, for PC and everything. I knew all this stuff, basically. And my sister's boyfriend, who I was pretty much friends with, I mean, he was telling the managers that, you know, hey, that's my girlfriend's brother. He's really smart about gaming. He knows all this stuff. He's a cool guy. He's a hard worker. So, I mean, he was really trying to get me a foot in the door. And I wanted that job. But here's the thing, is that at that time, I didn't get that job. Like, it was ridiculous that I didn't get that job. And the reason why I didn't get that job was because, and I'm not bullshitting you, the person who got the job was a girl who was like 19, and she didn't play any games. Like, no games. She had no idea. She might have played Super Nintendo. And that was it. That's where it ended. No games, right? But she was like the girlfriend or a friend of the manager. Maybe she sucked his dick. I don't know. But basically, she got that job. So if I was to go in there and ask this chick anything about gaming, she couldn't tell me. She would have to go get another employee to answer any of my questions. That's just bullshit. You should know, as an employee, you should be hired because you have knowledge about gaming. Because there's tons of gamers who are really smart and they know all this information about gaming that will not get a job at GameStop because they don't know the manager, or they don't have any friends that actually work there. Things like that. They're not like a kind of cute girl or whatever who can flirt with the manager and get a job. Things like that. So, I mean, that's just totally bullshit that happens all the time. And then the customers, they suffer because they can't actually get any questions answered from some of these people. It's just so stupid. I don't know, guys. So that's pretty much it. That's my little thing about GameStop, how I feel about that company. And I really strongly recommend that you should maybe reconsider ever shopping there. And if you're going to shop there, just buy new games, because the publisher will still make money from that. The used game market from GameStop is a bad idea. I still believe that as a consumer, we should have rights to share our games with our friends and our family, that I can do whatever I want. It's my property. I should be able to break it if I want, sell it on eBay, sell it on Craigslist. I mean, this is just the reality, guys. Like, if you're gonna buy something used to save some money, do it on eBay. You'll save a ton more money than you ever will at GameStop. So, that's my message of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please like and favorite this video for me. I would really appreciate that. And you guys have a nice day. Peace!